Hello everyone, welcome to our today's video. In this video, we are going to talk about requirements management plan and scope management plan. So, if you remember in our last video, we introduced the 4 steps of planning, scope planning, I mean, and the first step was to prepare a requirements management plan and scope management plan. So last time we just talked about the difference between requirements and scope. However, today we are going to discuss these two management plans and understand what is there in these management plans as well as the whole objective of creating these management plans. So starting with requirements management plan, see, one of the common confusions around these management plans is that they will have the requirements in it or they will have the scope in it. However, that's not the case. The management plans are there for, oops, I guess I did something wrong. Management plans are there for defining some of the guidelines, procedures, templates, authority levels that one needs to consider or one needs to keep in mind while working with the requirements or scope in your project. In simple words, I can say that if, as a project manager, I want to understand or I want to know that what will be the template for recording the requirements, I'll look into the requirements management plan, or who needs to approve the requirements. I'll find that information in the requirements management plan. So the idea is to define or to have certain standard guidelines when it comes to managing the requirements for your project. I'll give some examples here, like what will be the format of requirements traceability matrix. Just the format. Then what will be the prioritization process? How will you prioritize the requirements? Then who will authorize or approve the final requirements? How to manage requirement changes if there are any. So as you can see, none of these points talks about that these are the 20 requirements or these are the 200 requirements to be fulfilled, but these are certain guidelines. Most likely your PMO may already have certain standards or templates that you need to follow or use, or if not, then you can sit down with the PMO to define the management plan for your particular project. Now, exactly on the same lines, we have our scope management plan as well. The only difference is that now we are talking about the guidelines or the procedures that we have to follow when it comes to managing our scope. So once again, I'll point out some examples that you can find in scope management plan. Let's say on the similar lines, what will be the format of scope statement? So as we move forward, we will have to prepare a scope statement, WBS. So what are the formats that we have to use for preparing these couple of documents? Work breakdown structure. Then who will authorize scope baseline? Someone has to approve the scope baseline. So who will be that person or that group of people who will authorize the scope baseline, then who will provide final acceptance of completed deliverables. So once we have completed the deliverables, who will be the authorized person, stakeholder to approve or accept these deliverables, give us the acceptance. And then once again, how to manage scope changes. So as you can see that these are nothing but different guidelines. Now, one more thing I will like to add here is that quite possible there are two very similar projects running in the organization, or our project is very similar to one of the past projects that we have performed. So yes, you can take a lot of guidance, or you can consider the management plans from the previous projects to be used in the current project. However, considering the fact that every project is unique and it you are dealing with different stakeholders, different customers, maybe there are different slightly different characteristics associated with this project. So you have to factor that and make sure that your management plans are tweaked or adjusted to suit the complexity or the size or the criticality of your current project. So yes, you might be sort of copying pasting the previous project's management plans, but you have to be careful and make sure that you adjust them. You don't do a simple copy paste and then you cannot use it as is. You have to make slight adjustments to suit to your current project environment. And of course, if it's a different project, it's a completely different initiative, then we will have to create these management plans from scratch. But yes, this ownership lies with the project manager, that there should be well-defined management plans. However, PMO can assist because they may have a lot of experience, or they have the archives of past projects, and they know what worked, what didn't work. So maybe they are a you can say a better group of people to help us in that. But ultimately, responsibility lies with us as the project managers. So that's all for this video. I hope we were able to clarify the concept of these two management plans. In our next video, we'll be talking about requirements gathering, and then forward to the other scope planning steps that we have. Thank you for watching. See you soon.